So for the leaf, we're using a 1/2 inch square bar, any length. You can also practice them in a 1/2 inch round as well. So I'm putting a point on the end of the bar, square taper. And the point or square taper has to be as short as possible. Now doing half face blows, where I leave an extra piece of the square bar after the point, and that end piece will become the leaf. And now these shoulders will help taper out the stem of the leaf. So I'm using a well-rounded part there on the anvil to draw out the stem part of the leaf. So I want to get that 12mm right down. So that 1/2 inch needs to become down to about a 1/4 inch, I suppose. So I rotate over and back 90 degrees as I'm hammering. Check as I go. And by using a very high heat over that curve on the far side of the anvil, I'm able to draw out the metal quickly. So this is very similar to using the curve of the horn of the anvil as well. So I'm trying to tidy it up, make it as even as possible, and getting a long square is what I have to get. So we have to, eventually this has to be round, so we make it square, then we're going to make it octagon, and then we're going to round it, all this stem part. Now it's going to be back to the leaf again. So that first blow on the leaf is to help stop that shoulder underneath forming a cold shut. When I'm happy with that, then I turn it over and I flatten it. And the hammering then, I'm twisting it around here with the tongs so that I can hammer or peen out each half of the leaf. So if you imagine the leaf going to a point, and where that point goes back to the stem, on the far side of the anvil I'm working on one half of the leaf, and on the near side of the anvil I'll be working on the other half of the leaf. So I'm trying to have the very edge of the leaf at the edge of the anvil where I'm hammering. So before you'd even start hammering, you would check that you're comfortable with the position of the tongs and the bar and the leaf itself holding the hammer. And then you would heat it up and start hammering. So getting this effect of a grain down the middle of the leaf. Putting the stem now to length on the hardy. And using the tongs then to do the final breaking of the piece. Now I'm finishing that end that I cut on the hardy, pointing it. So again, I have to make a square first, then octagon, then round. So we put a little scroll at the end. So we bend down over the far side of the anvil, then we turn it upwards. We bend it back in on itself, and we get that little curl at the end then, our little scroll. So finally then I rounded off the rest of the stem. So here's the completed leaf, and I'm also showing there the flat bit and the scroll tongs that were helping bending and holding the leaf.